Guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Core Union. Today I wanted to actually share one of my amazing clients' emails that she sent to me yesterday with like such incredible movement. And we've been on the package of 30-minute sessions. I believe that we just started her second package. I'm guessing I should have probably looked before I made the video, but it doesn't matter really. I'm guessing we've probably been working together for about 3 to 4 months. She's been on this journey manifesting her SP back for 6.5 years. Before I do get into this, the first thing that I want to say is that I affirm that you guys are taking this story as massive inspiration not to give up on anything that you are manifesting in your reality, anything that's deep down in your soul, that your soul's desire is. And that when it comes to duration of time, things like that, you are going to drop all of it. I want to point out that we just started working together a few months, and she's been incredibly disciplined and focused and doing the inner work in a way that she never has before. And so now she can see the clear connection of what it is that she's doing internally and how her 3D corresponds with it. Okay, so I just want to point that out. Up until when we were meeting, she just wasn't like, she just needed the support and the guidance. And it's that simple. And once she got the support and the guidance, she was able to go deep inside the core of her, go within, do the inner work, be trusting in the process. With the guidance, then she's able to see the results. You can coach yourself. You don't need to actually be working with a coach, but if you do want to work with a coach, I'm happy to help you. Feel free to email me a quick short description to kim@coreunion.com. I will reply back to you as soon as I can with my next available session after you book on my website, coreunion.com, and you can do a 30-minute or a package. Before I get into the story, if you love my content, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so I'm just going to read her email and then I'll interject as I feel I want to say things. So she wrote, "Hi, Kim. Thank you so much for this morning's session. It was incredibly helpful. As always, I think our sessions immediately shifted some key things for me, because the rest of the day immediately pivoted into a series of magical events. I want to share what happened. As I shared in our session, my SP had mentioned he'd be in town today and that we should grab lunch at the office. However, he didn't ever follow up with me to confirm, and when I checked his work calendar, it looked like he wasn't going to be in town after all. I was disappointed that I wouldn't see him, but I tried to stay aligned. In our session, you had helped me shift into a balanced state, not obsessive and not dismissive, but rather in a happy, balanced middle ground, more of a Zen detached state. You and I wrapped out our call at 9 a.m. my time. After our call, I tried to continue persisting in this new balanced state. At 9:30 a.m., I was walking around the office and I saw my SP from a distance. Despite me thinking he wasn't going to be in town anymore, he was suddenly there. I don't think he saw me, and I was still disappointed that he hadn't told me he was coming and hadn't confirmed lunch with me. But I took this as a miraculous turn of events, and I kept persisting in my Zen state. At 12:30, I bumped into him face to face in the hallway. He looked a little sheepish, probably because he felt bad for not confirming to see me, but I kept persisting in an optimistic state. He then suggested that we grab coffee in the afternoon. He prioritized making time for coffee and even suggested a cute outdoor place to have the coffee rather than just grabbing it in the office kitchen. We ended up having the most harmonious, natural, free-flowing time together and caught up on life. It was just friendly. Of course, I certainly want more, but I'm very grateful for this because we haven't had such free-flowing time together for years. Today was a huge milestone for me. In the 6.5 years of being on this journey with my SP, today was the first time I could directly and immediately see the impact of my inner state of our 3D connection. I literally saw our entire 3D situation shift before my eyes over a matter of hours. And I attribute this to finally being able to find that inner balance of detachment, confidence, relaxation, and love. I still have some unfolding needed for a union, but I'm excited to see what lies ahead. I wanted to share this with you as a huge thank you. Please feel free to share this story with any of your clients, YouTube audience, if you feel it could help anyone else, especially for those who have been on the journey for a long time and might feel like giving up. I thought I would never get there, but I'm finally starting to understand how this all works. And I see now that things can literally shift in an instant. Thank you so much for what you do for us. Much love and gratitude. And she wrote a PS, but before I actually read this PS, I want to go back and then I'm going to tell you what she finally said, because to me, that's the best part of the story. So I want you guys to notice that it was 6.5 years, but once she actually started to do the inner work in the way that she went deep into trust and was steady and focused, then I don't know exactly when it was, but at some point she ended up experiencing, so she manifested her SP working for the company that she works for. Okay, there was some inspired action there, and then he ended up working for the same company. I don't know exactly, again, where this is also, but I think a couple months ago, I think we were already working together. She had seen him in the office kitchen and they did interact a little bit, but he had a wedding band on. And that experience had triggered her very deeply because she had this feeling of resentment. And like, how could you end up meeting somebody else while we were apart? And she felt, probably that sense of betrayal. And there was that resentment, but we talked about that through our session. And it was that was a little bit of a barrier. When we resent things with our specific person for the things that happened, or we feel resentful or more regretful and ashamed or guilty even of things that we do, those things are things we need to forgive our person because they're mirroring us and our fears back to us. And we need to also forgive ourselves because we didn't intentionally create things. So we need to let go of things like blame, shame, blaming others, blaming ourselves, shaming ourselves, feeling guilty, feeling regret. Those things need to be released and let go. So you want to definitely heal those things within you, and I can help you with that. I want to back up a little bit. I had made some notes, and she had said she had gotten out of this obsessive and desperate anxious state, which was a relief for her. But then she kind of swung in the other direction because she was triggered by feeling that resentment that how could you entertain someone else? How could you get married? And so then she swung into this kind of like, okay, I'm over this and I am persisting, but I'm also kind of sick of like, I don't even know if I want you. So it was kind of like this kind of energy, like I can't even, because I resent you. I'm upset with you. So one of the biggest and most profound shifts that she made during our session was forgiving all of that, letting it go and forgiving herself. And just basically, in other words, getting into that Zen state that we talked about, that you are detached from the old story, that you're in a place of trust and relaxation and in that unconditional love. So it's not this energy like need, yearning, wanting, fear. And it's also not, I'm kind of over and done with this entire thing because I am just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it because of the thing that's triggering me. And it's kind of more in this kind of balanced, harmonious equilibrium with ourselves. Okay, this is all about that. So what happened was he did start pursuing her, like somewhere in the movement over the past, say, maybe month or so. He started messaging her. He asked her to catch up. He asked her if they could have a video meeting to catch up. He was initiating that. And then he's the one who asked her out for the lunch date. And then, of course, we know that now bringing it back to the email that she sent me, there was some circumstance that came up that appeared that she wasn't going to end up seeing him. So I want you also to notice, going back into her email, that she could have, many of you guys, when you do start to hear back and you're in the unfolding and you start to hear back from your specific person, and the communication, while it may not be like all like, the full confession of undying love, and you guys might not be like planning the wedding, maybe it's kind of like, the communication is kind of slow at first. It's not quite right there. Instead of, like, she wasn't focusing on the lack of things. She was focusing on the gratitude of things. She was remaining in her optimistic state. She could have allowed, when she actually saw him and that he didn't confirm with her, and that he didn't, she could have gone with a completely different state of mind into an entirely old story and just focused on the lack of things. But she persisted in that Zen state. She persisted in the optimism and the gratitude. This is the thing that happens with a lot of you guys. Like, you might be getting the communication, but you're focusing still on, instead of being grateful and happy that you guys are back in communication and just imagining that the communication is building and it's getting better and it's getting deeper and allowing the unfolding to happen, you get impatient, and then you get kind of in that desperate, anxious, frustrated place, that this kind of energy. And then you feel yourself feeling frustrated, and your mind is telling all these stories and you don't catch it. You don't go back into that optimistic, Zen kind of detached, but confident, but loving, unconditional love, trusting, faithful place. That's a very important place to be in. Okay. At all of the points where she could have focused on the lack and could have spiraled out of control and could have been telling a different story, she didn't. And everything unfolded in a beautiful and harmonious, natural, flow-based kind of way. And so, wonderful, amazing job. I'm incredibly proud of her. So again, she was in that perfect inner balance of detachment, confidence, relaxation, and love. So the best part of this entire thing, because remember, it is an unfolding of it. So he ended up, through the separation, there were things that she was the most afraid of. And this just happens when people end up in separation. Then, there's the deepest, darkest fears of things happening, and those things are the barriers, and those have to be personified. And sometimes they end up, not always, but sometimes they do end up being personified through the person ending up being with somebody that they don't belong with. Okay. It doesn't happen with everybody, but sometimes it happens. So she ended up experiencing the evidence of that. But she knows deep down in her soul that they belong with each other. They were created for each other, because deep down in her soul, that's what feels natural. And that's what happens. We recognize the person that we're meant to be with. And we've created, like, you want to think of it as like we created each other for each other before we were even born. We were literally merged together as one before we even were physically brought into this life. And then, when the time came when we were actually ready for the love, there was that soul recognition. We brought them into our lives. We were ready for it. And then then is where all of the stuff comes up, so you can see it. The spotlight is on. The spotlight is on when you get the 3D circumstances that come up, of the reflections of the fear, worry, and doubt of the things that, like, it's basically your baggage that you bring in to the relationship. You project your fears from the programming that you have, that love isn't safe. It's not safe for me to rely on somebody. It's not safe for me to allow myself to trust this love. Relationships are scary. Marriage is scary because of the things that happen to you. It's that baggage. So drop the baggage, let it go, and get more into this kind of Zen state. If you need help, obviously reach out to me and I can help you get there. So the best part of this now, because she is in this beautiful unfolding of it, is that she wrote, P.S. He wasn't wearing his wedding band today. Okay. So anyway, I know that this video is inspiring so many of you guys not to give up. I don't care what your circumstances are. Every single person believes that their circumstances is special and unique. I hear it all the time. And I also hear and see all the time amazing movement and amazing unfolding. And I also see all the time that it is when you've dropped the importance of your, oh my God, my circumstances are so special. I don't care if your circumstances are an age difference, a religious background difference, long distance, a lack of money, third parties, they ended up with this person, blah, 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 blah. I don't care what your circumstances. None of it matters. Yes, there are a couple things that I won't coach somebody on, but that is usually around like harmful physical abuse, things like that. When you have a story and it involves like serious harm, I won't be part of that. But other than that, nothing matters. Okay. Everything can shift and change. And it is according to how deeply you go into your core, into your trust and faith, and that you shut down your old memories of old circumstances. You wipe the slate clean. You literally become reborn every morning when you wake up. And you are focused and disciplined enough not to mess around with the thoughts and the memories of the old story, and not to follow the inspired action when you are coming from a self-concept of wanting to stalk somebody online, wanting to see if things have changed. That self-concept, you are going to be proven that you are right to have reason to need to stalk somebody. That is not coming from a place of pureness. It's not coming from a place of power and confidence and trust and faith in the union together, in the harmonious, stable, and secure, happy, loving relationship. Because if you were trusting in that, then your energy would be balanced, you would feel secure and confident, and you would have complete trust. You would have no need to check your 3D. You just simply wouldn't have the need, okay? So please do your best to drop those things when you feel the urge. Stay on a mental diet, stay in trust and faith, become reborn again every single day, stay in that as long as you can throughout the day. Don't get so caught up in your thoughts and your fears. Just get more into your heart, live through your soul, manifest through your soul, manifest through your core. Okay? I love you so much. I know, I absolutely know, I believe and declare that this video is going to shift so many of you guys. And I want you to affirm down below with a heart, affirm with whatever you want, that you know and you absolutely trust that you are in complete faith, that you know your end exists with you and your person, simply because you know that your soul's desire is already existing. I love you so much. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Nothing can come, nothing can come.